Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. I hope you are doing great. Welcome back to another episode of my stealth game development series. In the previous episode, I transformed the prototype into a playable stealth game by adding the environment, player, enemies, animations, keys, and the treasure system. The game was finally playable, but after spending a lot of time testing it, I realized that there were still several things that needed improvement. Some mechanics didn't feel very satisfying, the camera had an annoying issue, the UI looked unfinished, and the game needed a little more polish to make it feel like a complete experience. So instead of adding a lot of new mechanics, I dedicated this episode entirely to improving the overall gameplay experience. The first thing I changed was the interaction system. Previously, collecting keys was completely automatic. As soon as the player entered the trigger collider, the key was collected. While it worked perfectly, it didn't really feel like the player was interacting with the object. So I replaced the trigger based interaction system with a Raycast based interaction system. Now the player has to look directly at the key before interacting with it. This small change makes collecting keys feel much more intentional and gives the player better control throughout the game. It might seem like a minor improvement, but these small details make the gameplay feel much more polished. The next improvement was the player itself. The previous character was mainly used while building the prototype, so I replaced it with a character that fits the overall style of the environment. While testing the game, I also realized that the jump mechanic wasn't actually contributing to the gameplay. Since the main objective is to avoid enemies, collect all the keys, and unlock the treasure, there wasn't a single situation where jumping added anything meaningful. Instead of keeping a feature that wasn't useful, I removed it completely to keep the gameplay simple and focused. While testing these changes, I came across another issue that I really wanted to fix. Whenever the player walked close to a wall, the camera would clip straight through it. Sometimes the wall completely blocked the player's view, making the gameplay feel unpolished. To solve this, I implemented a camera collision system. Now, whenever an obstacle comes between the player and the camera smoothly moves closer instead of passing through the wall. As soon as the obstacle is gone, it smoothly returns to its original position. This is one of those improvements that players may not immediately notice, but it makes the overall gameplay feel much smoother. After fixing the camera, I wanted to make the game more replayable. Previously, every playthrough felt almost the same because the enemy behavior never changed. So I introduced three difficulty modes. The first one is practice mode. In this mode, there are no enemies at all. Player can freely explore the environment, understand the map, and learn where every key is located without worrying about getting caught. The second one is easy mode. Here, the enemies patrol along fixed routes, allowing players to observe their movement and carefully plan their path through the environment. Finally, I added hard mode. This mode contains four enemies patrolling around different parts of the environment. This mode contains four enemies patrolling around different parts of the environment, making it much more challenging to collect every key without being detected. I think these different difficulty modes make the game enjoyable for both beginners and players looking for a bigger challenge. After finishing the gameplay improvements, I also wanted more people to be able to play the game. So I made sure the game works on both PC and mobile. The PC version uses keyboard and mouse controls, while the mobile version includes on screen touch controls. This means you can enjoy the same gameplay experience on whichever platform you prefer. Once the gameplay was in a good state, I moved on to improving the user interface. The previous UI was only a temporary placeholder. It was plain, simple, and only existed so I could test the mechanics. So I completely redesigned it. I added a proper menu, improved buttons, cleaner icons, better layouts, and an overall design that matches the theme of the game. All through, UI doesn't directly change the gameplay. It creates a much better first impression and makes the game feel significantly more polished. And improving the visuals, I focused on something that was missing throughout the project audio. Before this update, the game felt very quiet, so I started adding sound effects for almost every important interaction. The museum now has a background ambience, opening doors has its own sound effect, collecting keys has audio feedback, enemies play a sound when they detect the player, both the player and enemies have attack sounds, and finally opening the treasure chest also has its own sound effect. These sounds don't change the gameplay mechanics, but they make every interaction feel much more satisfying and bring the world to life. I also wanted to make enemy detection much cleaner. Instead of relying on audio, I added a visual effect using global volume. Now, whenever an enemy detects the player, the corners of the screen turn red, giving immediate visual feedback that you are in danger. It is a simple effect, but it makes a huge difference because players instantly know they have been spotted. After all these improvements, the game finally feels much closer to the vision I had when I started this project. The interaction systems feels more natural. The player fits the environment much better. The camera no longer clips through walls. The different difficulty modes add replay value. The game now supports both PC and mobile. The UI looks much cleaner. The sound effects make every interaction feel more immersive. And the visual feedback makes enemy detection much easier to understand. I am really happy with how much progress the game has made so far. But before calling it finished, I would have to hear your feedback. If you notice any bugs while watching this gameplay, let me know in the comments below. And if you have any suggestions or ideas that could make the gameplay even better, I would love to hear those as well. I have uploaded the latest version of the game to itch.io and you will find the link in the description below. And you don't need to download it, you can just play in online. Your feedback will help me improve the game before the final release. If everything goes according to the plan, the next episode will either be the official trailer or the final release, depending on your feedback and suggestions. And if you found this video useful, just stay tuned to our channel. And thank you for watching and I will see you in the next episode.